There you go. Well, hello, Angela. Welcome to BB Disney After Show.
Hello.
All right. So, like I said, this is your time. You've got the floor. I do have a couple questions, and then through our talks, sometimes other things come up. But I always like to start with, what was your favorite part of the BB Disney experience?
My favorite part of the BB Disney experience, I think overall is just like meeting new people. I feel like for me, this is almost like a new hobby. So it's kind of fun to meet people that have been doing it for a while, which I think was like most everyone except for me. Everyone has done quite a few orgs. So like it was kind of cool to get like everyone's like perspective on things. And I think that was my favorite part. I love like doing the challenges, even though I wasn't good at them, but like that was always fun for me, even though I like sucked at all. But I would say like just meeting new people in general and doing the challenges.
So you said you're newer to orgs. Was this your first Big Brother game?
Yeah, so I have never done a game before at all.
Oh,
But I did um, two live games over the summer, and one of them I did well in, the other one I did not do well in. And that's actually how I met Andrew. He did Survivor New York, the season that's out right now, and I did the season after him. So he was like helping with production on my season. So I got to meet him there, and really through my connection through people through I met with the live games, they kind of like, oh, join this or group, and it kind of like introduced me to that realm. So pretty much the past few months I've just been following different Facebook pages and like learning about it. And then I'm a big Disney fan, so I was like, well, this one just sounds like one I need to do. So that's why this is like the first one I applied to, and I was like honestly surprised but happy that I got picked. So it's been good.
yeah. No, this is. I'm also. This is also. This was also my last season. Was also my first BB season, and of course,
Okay.
I'm biased here. It's great. We love it here.
Yeah.
So I know, like, the circumstances behind you leaving were a little bit different than normal, but
Yeah.
do you how do I want to word this? I apologize. My short-term memory not best.
That's
But
okay.
you know, like, let's say, circumstances are different. Like, do you think you would still be right in there, or what would be
Okay.
your take on, like, where you think maybe you would be?
So yeah, so I think that if things follow through, I think that I would have still been in the game. Like if I think about everything that has happened, how it I know that Grace and Ingrid got put up. I think anyone that got put up against Grace was going to go home. And obviously one more person would have went home, but I was closely aligned with Rose and Andrew. I was aligned with Evan. So if any of the four of us ended up becoming HOH, I knew I would have been fine. My problem was really, I guess, if Grace actually, I aligned kind of closely with Grace like right before I had left. So like I actually think I would have been fine with her too. It was more Robert Toria and Molly. I feel like there's a chance that one of them could have put me up, but I think in the end, who they put me up against, I probably would have like came out of the live night. So like my prediction is I probably would have came out of the live night. If Evan was HOH like he is now, right? They're doing their final they're doing their votes tonight.
I believe so, yes, and I know that HOH is live. So
So if that was the case, I know that he wouldn't have put me up. So I think there's a really good chance I could have made it to final five. And um, from there, I don't know what would have happened because it really just depends on who who won HOH from like that point forward. So I
gotcha.
think there's a good chance I could have made it at least to final five. I don't know beyond that because it would depend on the circumstance. So yeah.
Yeah. No, so when you did join the jury at the point you did, was there anything that you learned that you were like, oh, maybe I didn't notice that was happening, or did you bring new information to enlighten your fellow jurors?
Actually, a lot of the stuff they were talking about, I already kind of knew from different sources. So like nothing was really too much of a surprise for me. I think I had enough trust with people that I can get like little pieces of information here and there. Um, one thing that I shed light on them is like really the reasons why they were voted out, since I was kind of responsible for every one of them going except for Grace. But I knew that was kind of like, I knew people wanted to get her out because of the fact that she was a threat socially, and like she had good standing with the jurors, and she was doing very well in challenges. So like I knew that people were targeting her because of that. So I think that was kind of my information I was able to share. And, in the jury chat, I said, like, you all got voted out because you're good at playing. That's like really what it is. And everyone was targeting you because of that. So um, I think that not maybe made them feel better, but made them feel a little bit better. I don't know. Like not like it matters at this point. I think they're a lot of they're very bitter. I'm probably like the least bitter one because I didn't actually get voted out. So yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah, everybody's always take is always different, of course, from their personal versus the outside. So,
Yeah.
is there? Let's pretend we're getting closer towards finale night. What are you looking for out of a winner?
So I'm not the type of person that's going to look at like, oh, how many challenge wins did you have? Because to me, like I'm personally not good at that, and I think Big Brother is a social game. So making those connections with people that allowed you to get to the end and like kind of slip your way through. Um, Out of everyone that's left, I think that, you know, Andrew and Rose have slipped through. I know one of them will be going home tonight because the two of them are up, but I feel like they have a good shot at winning. Um, I'm a little biased towards Evan because like I was aligned with him, but I do think that he set himself up pretty nicely as far as aligning himself with the right people to get this far. Um, and I'm always impressed by Molly, how she just pulls it out she was on the bottom and then she just managed to get this far. Like to me that's like super impressive. So like to me those three would be the front runners. And who's left? I think Ingrid, I like her. I think she would have to sell it to me a little bit more. And then Robert Toria, like same thing. Because I feel like they kind of made some mistakes along the way. So they would have to like be able to explain it. But at this point, I
Yeah,
think it could be anyone's game. It's how they sell it at the end.
that's a great perspective. Like, yeah, that can definitely, you could go in thinking like, oh, maybe lean one way, and then, finale night happens, and you listen to all the questions being
Oh
answered, and you're
yeah,
like, oh, okay, maybe there's something there. So for
yeah.
sure. One thing we like to ask too, this is kind of a fun one, but if
Okay.
you could compare your game to a Pixar movie, what would it be and why?
A Pixar movie. Maybe A Bug's Life, because I think I came in um a small fish in a big pond, which I know is not really Bug's Life, but like I was like, one of the ants. I had to like work really hard to get to where I am. And there was a lot of, I remember like one of the first weeks, someone said, oh yeah, this is like a really stacked cast. Like all these players are really good in games that they've done. I'm like, oh, I have no idea. Like I'm just listening to what everyone's saying. So like, I definitely felt a little threatened by that. But I feel like I like worked to get as far as I did, even though I was up against people that apparently are like super competitive. So I would say maybe A Bug's Life. I don't. That's my
Yeah,
best guess.
no wrong answers, no wrong answers. Just like to kind of see where everyone's heads are at, and everybody always kind of looks at me like, hmm, okay.
Hmm,
But yeah,
yeah.
no, it's great. You have some really good insights too. And I know like, it's a little bit different here, but another thing I typically will tend to ask, is there anything you would change, like, or do differently maybe?
Yeah, there's one thing. So I have, so this is just Prod, right? That listens to this.
Yes,
Okay.
myself and the other prod. And
Okay.
no, nobody else will ever see it.
I'm gonna go on a little rant for a bit. So I
It's
think
your time.
by before I get to like my biggest regret, I personally did not like the way that Trevor played this game. I feel like he definitely made it seem like he was like an ally of yours, but was constantly saying stuff and throwing you under the bus behind your back. That was my experience. I know I'm not the only person that felt that way. Um, so one of my regrets is one of the first weeks he had asked me to be in alliance with him, Andrew, Rose, Crispy, and Grace. And me, I didn't know that you just say yes to everything, because someone like told me that afterwards, like you just say yes to everything. And I was like, well, I don't know, I got to think about it, because I haven't really talked a lot with Crispy or Grace, because I was like, I didn't want to, commit. It's almost like when someone asks you out on a date, like you don't want to commit if you if you don't
That's a
know how.
great comparison. I love
Yeah,
that.
like if like you're not really sure about it, and like that's kind of how I felt. And like I did feel good about Trevor at that point, but I remember after I gave him that response, he like reacted very strangely, like, oh, like he was taken back that I said, I didn't say no, but I said I have to think about it, or like not right now. So I noticed after that, the way that he was treating me was different. It was almost like he assumed that I didn't want to work with him, which wasn't the case. So, but he was pretending like he wanted to work with me. So, like behind my back, he was constantly telling people to nom me, and like I didn't like that. And then I also feel like the way that and like I wasn't like super close with Molly, but like I was pretty friendly with her. Like that whole interaction between the two of them, I feel like would be different if she wasn't a female. Like I feel like he was attacking her and making it seem like she was a bitch, and that wasn't the case. I feel like he was like, and it's like a common thing in these like reality shows where like guys make big moves and like people praise them, but when a woman does it, it's like, oh, she's a bitch, she nommed me and stuff like that. So like to me, I felt like the way he was reacting to me and to Molly and to I'm trying to think, there was like one other person too that like kind of felt that way. I just feel like his reactions would not have been the same if we were men. So I don't know, maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but like, I just felt like icky about him. There's just something about him that I felt icky about, and I don't know what it is, but like he just like I really was disappointed, because my initial impression was I really liked him, and then by the end, before he left, I was so happy to get rid of him. So I don't know what it is exactly, but just some of the little comments he made here and there and things that I know he said behind my back bother me. And I get it. It's a game. You're going to deceive people. You're going to lie. But a lot of the things that he did were so unnecessary and just to cause chaos. So if that's his game, that's great. But he like never really admitted that that was his game. And I really think that was part of his strategy, was to cause chaos, because that's kind of what he did. Because once he was gone, there wasn't a lot of rumors being spread. There was like, it was pretty much if someone said something, they would admit it, or like it would be more direct. Um, and he ended up telling Crispy and Grace that I didn't want to work with them, and it kind of made my relationship with the two of them not really off to a great start. And like that wasn't the case, and I had to explain myself to Grace and Crispy, and I think by the end, like we were on better terms. But I feel like it was almost like they still didn't really believe me because of what he said. So that's my Trevor rant. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize.
Yeah,
This
that's
is your
something that
time.
no one really knew, because I didn't really say anything to anyone about that. But like after reflecting on it, that's just kind of my take on him, and I was happy to get rid of him. So yeah.
Gotcha. Um, as you were going through the game, like just thinking of like you had mentioned like connection and things as you were speaking, and I remember you had said you knew Andrew before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you was that did you like let that be known, or did you kind of try to downplay that? Like how did you navigate that?
Well, I didn't straight come out and tell people like, oh, we know each other, but like he made it known that he played Survivor New York, and I made it known that I played. And I think people knew that we didn't play on the same season, because his season was released now and mine probably won't be out for like a year from now. So I think Evan might have been the only person I told, and then everyone else, like, I don't know if they made that connection. I'm not really sure actually. So,
Got-
actually,
Gotcha.
I think I mentioned it in the jury, and everyone was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that." Like, okay, so,
Yeah.
so yeah,
No.
we were trying to downplay it, and like if it came out, it wasn't going to be a big deal, but like we weren't
Mm,
just like sharing that with people.
gotcha. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Everybody. Some. From like you said. People have played multiple roles. This was your first one, and you did a fabulous job in your first one. Can't wait to see you play more.
Thanks.
If you so choose, of course. But yeah, you never know. Everyone navigates those differently. So, it's just
Yeah.
interesting to see your takes. I don't really have any other questions. Is there anything else you wanted to spill, share, discuss? Like it's
I think. Um, I don't know. I would really, I think because I do know Andrew, I would love to see him come out of this vote. And I love Rose too, but like I think because I know him outside the game and I've had conversations with him how he's played like 20 something orgs and he always just misses making it to the end. And I think it would be really great to see him make it to the end. Um, if he does, I think he'll win. So, but I think it's going to be hard. I think they're going to prevent him from getting there. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. Um, I think as far as like other, like just people and connections I made, the whole I'm not bashing production on the twist, the Robert Torrio twist, because it's great that they got that from the circle, right? That's the time I've seen it. So like I think it's great to give someone like an opportunity like that. Um in general, like whenever I watch like reality shows, like I usually don't like twists like that. So like when they said that, I was like, oh, great. And, but like it is, it's part of the game. Like I'm not complaining.
yeah.
Um, so like that whole thing, I felt like it would have been better if they were working together more, but it just feels like Robert is Robert Toria and Victoria is just like so absent. So, and I think we've talked about that in the jury that like a lot of us feel that way. And even before I left the game, a lot of people were feeling that way. So I feel like if they get to the end, that is going to come up a lot in the jury. And side note about Robert, when it was down to like, me and Victoria the first live night, and he was one of the votes against me, and I had literally just set up an alliance with him, so I was like so pissed. It was like me, Evan, him and Molly set up like a four-way alliance, and he seemed like all for it, and then him and Molly wrote my name down, and like all these other people that I wasn't aligned with didn't write my name down. So after that, obviously I lost some trust. I felt a little bit better with Molly because she did give me a heads up. She's like, I'm so conflicted. I'll explain why later. You should be okay. But she kind of like said, like she kind of like told me what was going to happen before it happened, where he like just totally ghosted me and didn't say anything and wrote my name down. So like that bothered me a lot. So like I have a little bit less respect for him just because, and everyone plays the game differently, but like I know I appreciate like almost like, sorry, it's not going to go your way, this is why, and like not giving me like any explanation, like just shows me like you're being sneaky. So again, everyone plays differently, so but that's kind of my take on it. So if they get to the end, I'm probably not voting for them, but we'll see. Who knows? Like I said, I could be convinced.
Yeah.
And back to Ingrid. Ingrid's like the one person I really would like love to see what she has to say, because I think that she is probably playing like a game like I wanted to play, because she's under the radar, but she has found a way to get through each round even when she's been up. So like if she can make it to the end, I feel like she's someone that a lot of people underestimated, but she's like doing a very good job. And to me, she's very likable. So she's one that like if she got to the end, I would love to hear what she has to say, because she could definitely earn my vote depending on what she says. So yeah.
Excellent. That's excellent. You've got such great insight. I could listen to you all night. Like I'm
Oh,
like, this is
okay.
great.
All right.
Nah,
Well,
but no, oh, you're good. You're good. But welcome to the BB Disney family. It's a great place to be for
yeah,
sure. For
it's
sure. I
been
played
fun.
last season myself, and I one of the best games I've ever played, not just because I'm on prod now. It's yeah, you chose a good first one. So definitely
Okay.
will give you props for that. But we are definitely looking forward to having you and your other jury members select our next upcoming winner soon. So
Yay, I'm excited. I'm so happy I got to talk to you. I feel like I haven't, I mean, obviously because you do the after show, but it's been nice to like finally talk to you.
oh yeah, no, I've been following along in DRs, and when you had mentioned the Robert Toria twist, literally I think Skype went boom 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 boom. Boom. What is
Yeah,
happening? What is happening?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that was kind of fun to watch. I mean, I can't tell you what was said, but it was just very
yeah,
everybody was pretty animated. I'm just gonna say that. It
yeah,
was definitely you
yeah.
definitely none of you saw it coming and we're like,
For sure.
whoa, but you
No,
gotta love
no, absolutely
expect the unexpected. Of course,
not.
you never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
it
But
makes it great when people don't expect it. So,
mhm. And I'm glad you enjoyed the challenges. Like these games, they're just it's very fun. And I'm glad you
yeah.
had a great time.
I was gonna say
So
one last thing before we go, because I
oh, sure.
know I feel like I might have said this, but I don't know if I like really said it fully, but with a lot of stuff like with my son being sick and all, like I wanted to stick it out like so bad because to me this was like something to look forward to. And like even though there were so many bad things I felt like happening in my life, this I knew was one thing that like gave me some enjoyment and allowed me to escape reality. So I was really sad that I had to like leave, but at the time things were just so overwhelming at home. So um, I just wanted to let everyone know that. And it's something that I wish I would have found in 2020 when everyone else was doing it, because I feel like I needed that then and I didn't have something like that. So it's good to know, if we ever go through another pandemic that, this
Oh
exists.
boy. But
There's
no,
an
I understand. I understand. But I'm actually gonna stop the recording here. It's been great.
Yes, that's fine.
Let me just hold on. And then